So in this video, we're going to set up a team and the workflow and the team members. Um, Team setup can be done while you're online using the browser or using the desktop while you're online. So the first thing would be to create a team name. Oftentimes we'll use the language as the team name, and then you select a workflow. Well, you might wonder, well, what's in all these different workflows? So if you click on the Help button, I've opened it in another tab, and type Workflow and choose this button and navigate to the examples. You can see examples of all the steps that are in each of the workflows. So here we have a simple workflow, which is just recording and exporting. Here's a more complete oral Bible translation workflow, which involves internalizing, recording, verifying your terms, transcribing, syncing to Paratext, peer Paratext review, community testing, phrase back translations with transcriptions and sync to Paratext, consultant checking, a final review, and then an export, and then you're done. Here's one that's kind of a little bit more like Render 2. And so you can see what, we've just included the steps that might be there. Here's one that would be oral only. So we don't do transcriptions in this one, and we don't synchronize to Paratext. We just do oral work. In this one, we're doing oral drafting. So the idea is you're drafting, but the goal is to transcribe it and sync it into Paratext. In this one, we're using Render. We're starting with Render audio files we've already created in Render, and our main goal is just syncing it into Paratext. And in this case, we've included whole back translation and phrase back translation transcriptions to different Paratext projects. Here we have a storying workflow that's not necessarily Bible translation, but more like storying, very similar to oral Bible translation though. And finally, we have one that's just for transcription. And as you can see, all of these workflows have an add button, so that if you want to add new steps, you can click add and type in, it'll add a step to the bottom, and you can select one of your tools and then name it however you choose. Also, you can see if there's steps in the workflow. For example, maybe you don't want to do Team Verify, you can click on the I button and it will make it disappear. And use Show All to show them if you need to make them appear again. And some of the steps, like this one, for example, have a gear associated with them because there are additional settings. When you create that kind of a step, a transcribe step or a sync to Paratext step, you can transcribe different kinds of things or sync different kinds of things. And so it'll ask you to choose, well, what is it that you're trying to sync in this step? And of course, then we've named, like here's a transcribe step, and here's a transcribe step of a phrase back translation. So in this one tool, you would expect to see phrase back translation selected, whereas here you might see the vernacular selected. So that's how we go about picking our workflow. And once you pick the workflow, you click the Add button, and the project gets added. And then you may go over here to the members and choose to send invitations to different email addresses so that they can join your team. And then you can organize those members into groups. Maybe you'll have two teams that are peer groups that are, one is checking the other's work. And so you can choose which group to put them in right there. That's all there is to team setup and choosing and customizing your workflow.